I'm delighted to say back on Drive Time is Paul Harris, Executive Director, Customer Experience from Curo. Paul, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks, Richard. Nice to talk to you again.
It's good to speak to you as well. Did you get many people commenting on your last interview?
We've had a few, and I think it's nice that some of our residents get to hear us talking on the radio as well. So anything we can do to promote your station, but it's great to get feedback when we do.
Great stuff. Well, thank you for that. I'm going to ask you as well, just in general current happenings, of course, lockdown easing now, which I guess is an easier situation for yourselves. How are things at Curo in general currently?
Yeah, they're good. And I think we have to remember that Curo's not in the same sector as some of those businesses that have been really hard hit through lockdown. So, we're not a hospitality or a retail business or a travel business. And we know that lots of people in those sectors have really struggled, so we've been quite fortunate. But having said that, it's been a really tough year for all the colleagues at Curo. We've obviously had to work in a different way. We've had to be putting people's safety right at the forefront of everything we do. Lots of our teams have had to change the way that they deliver their services. But we've actually just been talking internally about last year just now, because we're obviously into a new financial year now, and we've had a really good year in terms of all of the indicators that we look at. We've done very well when it comes to customer satisfaction and delivering all the promises that we made. So we think we've had a good year, but we know that there's more we can do.
That's great stuff. Well done on that. We're going to run through a number of topics, and I'll start, if I may, then directly, I guess, underneath your remit as the Director of Customer Experience. And you've looked to update your 5-year customer service plan. Is that a reflection of what's happened in the last 12 months, then, or just more generally that you'd like to look at how you're managing that scenario anyway, Paul?
It's a bit of both, actually, Richard, to be honest. One of the things that has changed in the past 12 months, like you say, is not just lockdown, but there's been a huge amount of government policy in our space over the past 12 months. So many people will be aware that after the Grenfell disaster, the government's been focusing a lot on the safety of properties and fire safety, those kinds of things. And there's new legislation there. There's also new legislation specifically aimed at social housing landlords about the way that we work with our customers. So these things have also been layered on top of the changes that COVID has brought around, and it made us think we probably need to look at our strategy and change it. But the other big factor was, when we did this strategy the first time around, 4 years ago, just after I joined Curo, we didn't involve customers in it, which is, to my massive shame, I'm quite embarrassed about it. And this time around, we've rectified that. So we've had a lot of sessions with our customers talking about what they expect from us in terms of customer service, and we've used all of their insight to build a new plan, which is nice and simple. There's just 7 things on it, and these are things that we've agreed with our customers and that we'll be delivering over the next few years.
That's great. I wonder, with that, we've all learned through the pressures that we've been under how to communicate better online and the sort of facilities that are available to do that from a group perspective. But I think as a society, we miss that physicality as well of actually seeing people face to face. So how do you kind of reflect that with a 5-year plan on customer service? I guess it's a mix and match. Is it with that offline as well as being online?
That's exactly it. So one of the 7 priorities is digital that we've been looking at, but we absolutely recognise that digital's not for everyone. We know that we have quite a large proportion of customers who don't use digital channels. They're not really online much, if at all. And therefore, we need to make sure that we can give them the same level of service and that we can communicate with them effectively through other means. So we're trying to combine the 2 things. And the interesting thing from our point of view is the more people that we can get to use digital who are comfortable with it, the more time we've got to spend with other people who need a bit of extra support. So we have what we call a self-service platform. It's called My Curo. When people register for My Curo and do normal things on there, like they can book a repair or they can pay their rent account or they can check up their safety certificates and all sorts of other things. By doing that frees up the time for some of our other teams so they can spend more time face-to-face or on the phone with people who've maybe got more complex needs and requirements. So we're really trying to push that, but we recognise that it's not for everyone.
It's an interesting strategy, though, Paul, isn't it? Of actually trying to weigh up the proportion of time and resources of a digital service against an actual physical service itself. And it's a difficult one to call, I would suggest, for a 5-year plan, isn't it? How that will develop going forwards.
Yeah, it is, and I think it will change over time. And one of the things that we've learned in my time at Curo is the closer we are with our customers, the more we talk to them, the better decisions that we make. So we will be spending as much time as we can understanding how any of the changes we make land with our customers. And if some of them aren't working, then we need to change them or stop them. And that might well be how we evolve our digital offering as well. If it's not working for many of our customers, we'll need to do something else. But I'm pretty confident at the moment that we're heading in the right direction. It will just be we'll need to constantly fine-tune it as we go because things change. And one of the other big things through the whole COVID period has been that consumers across the UK have been using more digital channels more frequently for things that they might have otherwise done face-to-face.